Greetings, Timeshare Traveler. This is the Timeshare Traveler, episode 23, Honoka'a Farms chocolate tasting. Hawaii is a very romantic place, and what also is romantic but chocolate. So I found a great place to have chocolate tasting, and I think everybody should go. Again, you're going to be in Hawaii having a great time. Make sure you get over and do some chocolate tasting. What I've got is I've got the actual, I took a video of them actually going through the tasting and the various chocolates. I also then gave you a sense of what my favorites were, and at the end of that you can make your own decision, but I highly recommend you go. Before I go into the detailed tasting notes, let me just tell you a little bit about my channel, and then we'll dive right into the tasting notes. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm your Timeshare Traveler. The goal of my YouTube channel is improving your timeshare travels. I'll do this through timeshare video reviews, tips for using timeshares, and much, much more. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, Twitter at Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. And if you like my videos, don't forget to click subscribe below. It's chocolate, and right here I'm doing a sample of 10 different chocolates, and I'm going to go through that in a minute. But even more interesting, they have chocolate tea. So let me first start by sampling that. Oh, that's interesting. Wow, it's got a nice chocolate aftertaste. Is it tea with chocolate?
It's tea with the parchment skin. It's like the outside skin of the cacao beans. So hi.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Isis. I'm from Brazil, and I live here for about 8 years, and I've been doing this for about 2 weeks now.
Okay, so this will be a dry run here. This is great.
Yeah, so this farm has been around since 2013, and our plants aren't quite mature enough for us to harvest our own beans yet, so we're working with a number of growers from the dry side and the wet side, and so different regions of the island.
Okay.
And so we are offering 10 different flavors that you could sample.
Okay.
And I guess I'm gonna walk you through each flavor.
Okay.
First, I'll give you some instructions on how to do a tasting.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah, so number one, the samples want to be at room temperature. So we're gonna talk about, a little extra information about each one of the regions, but in the meantime we want to have the samples get to the right temperature.
Okay.
And then number two is there's a lot of things that you can rate chocolate on. There's a lot of categories that you can judge cacao from, between fragrance, mouthfeel, flavor, aroma, sweetness, bitterness, astringency, finish, balance. These are all different ways you can judge chocolate. We're going to focus on flavor.
Okay.
And usually flavor is broken into three parts: the opening notes, middle notes, and finish. I'm going to give you the notes on each one of them as you taste them. There's no wrong answers. You could be tasting something that I'm not giving you the hints, or you could taste something totally different. It just depends on your culture, your age, lifestyle affects you, the ways you perceive flavor.
Right.
So we're gonna start with the fragrance test,
which is,
you can start with number one. That's 85% Hawaiian beans.
Okay.
So these are from the island, and doesn't have a lot of sugar. Let's see if there's something else I need to cover.
So I'm actually my preference is almost zero. It's close to zero added sugar.
Okay.
Because I actually love chocolate, but I'm trying to cut out sugar from my diet.
Oh, I see.
So like the milk chocolates are typically not my favorites because there's a lot of sugar. Yeah, but I love chocolate. So if I can figure out, this is my search, my holy grail, to find the dark chocolates, which I like dark chocolate anyway, but the dark chocolate with minimal sugar. So that's my happy place. If I can get, the first one is 85% cacao.
Yeah. We're trying to cater to the dark chocolate lovers, and as well as the rest of the world, which is actually 50-50. milk chocolates
Right.
versus dark chocolate people. So we kind of work with 70% a lot because it's a sweet
Yes.
medium
Yeah.
there. So we offer 185%,
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
that's probably going to be your favorite.
Well,
But yeah, so if you were to do the fragrance test for the Hawaiian beans,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna notice that there's like hints of hibiscus,
Okay.
some dried fruits, dry and dark fruits, and some nutty like scents there as well.
is that because of I've noticed like there's an aroma in Hawaii, like you can be on the Pacific Ocean in San Diego, and it doesn't smell as sweet. The air is drier. Where here the fragrance just
Yeah, I mean, there's all the ions that
Yeah.
the ocean releases, and I guess I would say that the fragrance is more from that it comes out of the beans themselves.
Okay.
So the beans will reflect the terroir. That's
Right.
a term we use
Right,
for
right.
where they were grown. So.
Okay.
So when I talk about fragrance, it's more of like the fragrance from the cacao nibs themselves.
Okay. I'm going to stop for the camera for a second.
Okay.
Breaking the action, but now we're back to the number one here is the 85%, and I just learned that the rest are 70%. So let's go through
Correct.
the tasting notes, and then I'm going to taste off, not on camera.
Okay. Yeah, so number one, it has opening notes of like fruity,
Right.
like dried fruits such as mangoes and bananas. And then it carries through a nutty finish, and the finish in this case would be Brazil nuts. So that's for the cacao beans from Hawaii. And the number two is going to have a similar flavor profile with opening notes of dried fruits,
Oh,
mangoes, bananas, and the closing notes of nutty cashews.
and is that also Hawaiian cacao beans as well? Number
Yes,
two?
yeah, this is the same. That's why the characteristics are similar, because the only thing that changes between number one and number two is the amount of sugar, which does affect your ability to perceive the other flavors a lot.
Okay, yes.
So just like salt, sugar has this capacity of highlighting other flavors. So you're gonna notice that number two is like number one tamed.
Okay.
So we call that just like a more sorry, you're making me nervous.
Okay.
Yeah, so like number one is really complex, number two is also really complex, but a little bit more tamed. And it also has a finish of Brazil nuts, actually, I correct myself. Actually, the one that has a finish of cashews is number three, and that one is going to be from Fiji. So the cacao beans from Fiji are a little bit different from Hawaii. They're not as complex flavors, so they're a little bit more easier to process. They also have opening notes of dried fruits, but like I said, in this case, it has a nutty finish with the flavor of cashews. We don't have a lot of information regarding the conditions where these beans were grown, so we're gonna kind of go a little bit fast through all of them.
That's okay.
Number four is from the Dominican Republic. This one's from a farm called Zorzal. This one has opening notes of prunes, stone fruits such as cherries, raspberries, blueberries, and this one you could be classifying as a more acidic chocolate. It makes your mouth salivate, and it also helps you perceive flavors, but it's more simple flavor profile. Number five, it's from Honduras. This one, differently from the three that you tasted so far, it has opening notes of like nutty, such as in peanuts, and then it has no fruity flavors at all. And the middle is like a sweet tobacco flavor, and it wraps up with a smoky finish.
Okay, perfect.
That's Honduras. Number six, that one is from Peru, and these beans are grown at higher elevation, which gives them really unique characteristics. This one has opening notes of honey and graham crackers. The middle notes is like s'mores, so we call this one s'mores, like the nickname. And it wraps up with burnt marshmallow finish. Number seven is from Ecuador. This is cacao beans desired by the Belgian chocolate makers due to its high fat content. So this one is really silky It's got a lot of butter on it. So this one we call it fudge because it has a really strong opening notes and it wraps up with hints of cinnamon. And so yeah, this one you're gonna notice that the texture is really special.
So that's number 7. So that would be like the Lindt, Lindt.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Number
okay.
7 is the closest thing you have to a Belgian chocolate.
That's fascinating because when you said that, I've had Belgian chocolate and there is a buttery flavor that you don't find.
It's very buttery.
Yeah.
Not only they prefer the beans that have a high fat content, but they also add more fat to it afterwards.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so number 8, these are from Vietnam, and these beans are like really mild. It starts with green table grape opening notes, and then towards the middle, it's like a big punch of dried fruits, and it wraps up with the flavor of raisins. And the number 9 is from Madagascar. These beans have opening notes of tangerines, like citrusy opening notes. And it wraps up with a coffee beans. And the number 10, which is our award-winning silver medal. We won a medal in Germany on that plaque right there. If you want to show the plaque. Yeah, so.
Excellent. I came to the place. All right, place.
Yeah, so we won a silver medal for that chocolate. It's made with goat milk. It's really well balanced. It has a malty opening and a tangy goat milk finish.
Okay, and that's number 10? Okay, I'm gonna stop.
And those are all of them.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
A lot of fun, but more importantly, I love my chocolate tasting, and I'm, of course, the fan of the 85% cacao because of less sugar. But I also like the higher fat content, and you got to try the goat milk milk chocolate. So those are my 3 favorites. Plus, I'm going to get some of the chocolate tea because it tastes really cool, and I like the idea it doesn't have caffeine, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with my kids when I get home. I'm sure by now you can't wait to go tasting the next time you're on the Big Island and enjoy some chocolate tasting. So I've put here the phone number and the address of how to get to the farms. You can also Google it on your smartphone and do that as well. But I really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this review, and don't forget to subscribe.